Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, where presumably we're getting somewhere. I gotta navigate this horrible lightning nightmare right now. I think the plan is going to be to gather people up slowly, and I don't know how many offshoots there are. Theoretically there's a switch somewhere or something, right? It would seem like there would be a way to turn this off. But also, obviously, we got to steal everything on our way through. Critically important stuff. Okay, so now you two are going to, as soon as that's done, click through to here. Okay, apparently in non-combat situations, I'm allowed to just occupy the same space. Now we're picking up Adira, and is that... right, of course.
I'm always ready. It's about time.
Go fast. Okay, apparently several of them just chose not to take the order there.
I'm restless.
Definitely shift selected everybody, but you know, whatever.
The Emperor.
A little worried
sets
she
my path.
might not. She might not be totally out of the production, out of the area there.
Error. Making adjustments.
He cannot make it over. That is a shame. But I really want to inspect the cogitator data. Am I allowed to attempt the roll again with other people? So he's fatigued and he's got a head trauma now. Well, he had a head trauma. I think the fatigue is from failing the check. Yeah. So we need logic and athletics. Who's got the best combination of those things to try to get that? My characteristics. Where are my abilities? Not abilities, but you know, my skills displayed. I mean, certainly my actual character sheet has them. Yeah. Okay, so 30-40 is not super compelling. Abelard's got better athletics, but bad logic. 30-60, 40-30. Okay, like 35-35 and 40-30 are what we're looking at. That's what we got. Well, no, I guess like if we're talking about bringing somebody over who only has about 30 logic anyway, I guess it may as well be Abelard because he'll make the first check.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
The other people we're bringing may not actually do any better on the second one anyway.
Just now revert to more conservative tactics. Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Oh, or it'll move the whole party over here. And so we can at least take a swing at this with Adira.
Oh, the irony.
But we failed it. A multitude of symbols are carved into the enormous generator, but you cannot figure out their meaning. So am I allowed to check with everybody individually? Here, we can open up this goods box at least. Take the multi-key. That's a plasma pistol. Yeah, we don't have any characters who are plasma proficient, but that's very interesting.
We must act.
Like, are you
Should I divine our next step?
Doubt is for
are
the
you
weak.
allowed your own attempt at this? No. So it's interesting that we are allowed to try multiple individual people at this part.
Experience?
But there's the
Nothing matters
party
more.
as a whole only gets one attempt at the logic. Also interesting that we got XP for crossing it the second time, which I was really not expecting. Go, 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 go. Alright. Everybody through.
Over.
These dead heretics are suspiciously different from the others. The symbols on their clothes are drawn wrongly. and standard issue military uniforms show through the blasphemous tatters.
This explorer tool is blessed
Okay, more
multifunctionality.
more meds. It's pretty good. We're gonna need more meds. I need to apply. Hold on. Before we go leveling up, right now, while you are talking and thinking about it, you are going to give people more meds. This character does not have med skill. That's something we should probably pick up. So the red one is just more effective. It's like 33% more effective. Oh, this also removes bleeding and 1 fresh injury. This removes bleeding, burning, and toxin, and a fresh injury. Okay. So this should go on the person who's like most likely to use it in combat, and honestly, that might be Adira. I don't want to say like as the person who is the most likely to sort of have a free turn, but I do think that's about where she's at. All right, and then we have grenades. You no longer have a grenade, but you almost certainly should. You have a grenade. I am most okay with Kibella not having grenades because she kind of is a grenade. Toxic area, which lasts for 4 rounds and deals 8 toxic damage to anyone who enters or starts inside of it. So this is an area denial weapon too. Movement points up, but nukes your ability to actually hit people with weapons. So like the utility of this is either is good for running away, is good for catching up with people, or it's good for putting on somebody whose skills are good enough that they'll still be able to hit a fair amount through the haze. I think, honestly, a lot of that makes sense on her. A lot of those usages make sense on her. This is the Crimson Intoxicants, of course. The melted charges we don't really need to have available during combat. Just give you just like a variety of grenades. Who knows? Maybe we'll think of some good reason for all that. Okay, it's time to level up again. I feel like we level up really frequently. Okay, so an ability. Area of Authority gives an allies resolve +4. If the target's under the target, the effective voice of command, they'll start their next turn with an additional action point. That's not bad. It's certainly okay. Get back in the fight. Immediately recover from negative effects and potentially gain temporary wounds. That's, I think, high value. Ability can only target allies who have enemies adjacent to them. Until the start of the officer's next turn, all melee attacks made by the target deal additional damage equal to 2 times the number of enemies adjacent when the ability is used. If they're voice of commanded, they also immediately make an attack of opportunity against an adjacent enemy, targeting the one with the lowest remaining health. Break their rank seems very good for specifically shouting at Kibella. But it's worth noting that it only has a 4-cell range. Or the target's next attack ignores cover and has double effective distance. And if their voice of commanded, also they'll ignore enemy, block, and dodge. The damage of this attack cannot be reduced below 45% for any reason. So yeah, is this hang back and drive an excellent crit from Argenta, or move forward and help Kibella carve people up? I think it does make a little bit more sense. I had been planning to have her be kind of like stand back with the ranged, but with the Inferno pistol, it does make some sense to be close enough to be able to hit multiple people. I think Break Their Ranks is the maximum upside of Break Their Ranks is really up. And then There's definitely like a part of me that is like just go grab plasma, grab plasma proficiency. Willpower resistance tests. I mean, our fellowship is for sure higher than our willpower. If we have melee superiority, the effect is increased by +10. Ranged weapons dealing physical damage have these bonuses. I mean, that's all like kind of whatever. If a noble uses an ability on their servant, the servant gains 1 AP next turn. Noble servant gains 2 movement points every turn. If the servant has less than 30% maximum wounds, oh right, you can bump a new servant up. You know, honestly, maybe we should just get Medicaid, since it turns out we don't have it. And then okay, I feel pretty good about that, actually. Alright, you got your toughness and your weapon skill, agility, you know, maybe just strength, maybe just weapon damage. We're starting to see enemy health scale upward a little bit. We don't really need you for coercion purposes, or, I mean, like, Argenta's got demolitions locked down. But everybody could use a little bit of Medicaid skill. That's not bad. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits and deal +4 more damage. It's simple, but it's straightforward, and it affects all allies regardless of range, which is really nice. Next attack against a target affected by an exploit, that target's cover efficiency and block will be reduced, and the attack will have bonus hit chance. 15 plus 5/3 times your stacks of exploit. So I mean the base 15% value is actually really nice. But again, we rarely have Adira doing like a critical attack that isn't a spell. The operative's next non-area attack inflicts the intimidated effect. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Perfect spot's pretty whatever. For her, it would not be as compelling as it is for Argenta, and I still think it's only kind of okay for Argenta. The operative removes an exploit from each enemy in a 5-cell radius around a point within 10 cells, or all stacks if you just get one enemy, and all allies gain that much percentage armor until the end of combat. If 4 or more exploits are removed, the operative also deals more damage until the end of combat. That's kind of cool. If you can get a good chunk, yeah, like if you can get a bunch of enemies early on, I think I do like that, actually. Joint analysis, I think, also is compelling, but tactical knowledge actually seems pretty rad. And then a common talent. We do sometimes get lit up, and it's happening more and more lately. You know what? I think I like unnatural luck. Because we're like spreading our dodge buff across the party and everything. People are accumulating that effect. And then every once in a while, somebody's going to not get crit, and it's going to save their lives. And it'll be great. For you, I think just more perception. All right, under 40% wounds, that seems very unlikely to happen unless something's gone very sideways. But I guess that's exactly the situation in which you would want to Hulk out. Bonuses against Xenos and demonic creatures. We're still mostly fighting humans, and I suspect that's going to be true for most of the time in the game. All allies, excluding Xenos, in the current party gain +5 to the humanity's finest characteristic, which I would have to look up. Boy, these graphics for these things look really weirdly squashed. Whenever you use Warhammer or Furious Recital, Priest and your allies in a 5-cell radius deal Zeal stacks -2 or divided by 2 more weapon damage, doubled against demons, psychers, and Xenos. Okay, I mean, this gives us something interesting to do with our Zeal, and we can stack up a fair amount of it early. This just gives us something to do with Zeal. You deal 1 more damage and 3% more crit with bolt weapons. Or the Emperor protects maximum wounds by +3. I think I'm going to take Litany of Hatred. All right, Pascal, what do you got? I do think tactical knowledge is cool. How much do we need to double up on these effects? You know, I'll grab joint analysis on one of them. Burning effects don't seem to be common enough for that to be very interesting. The first attack in combat with any plasma melta or power weapon deals 5 extra damage. While wearing heavy armor, you cannot fall prone. That's so interesting. I wonder if I should get... Because we could just get heavy armor proficiency, right? Or actually, do you have it already? No. Well, that's right. That's heavy weapon. This requires you to have more strength. Is it 15% bonus to parry? Character can attack with the second weapon in their current weapon set in addition to the one usual attack per round. It's not too exciting for you, probably. We could gain some strength. I don't know how much strength we have now. Okay, right now we're at 30. So we're not close. The heavy armor thing's probably not happening. It was worth checking. But yeah, the inability to fall prone is probably worth a talent point by itself, right? I could give you plasma proficiency. We can make you the plasma weapon wielder because you have all these things that care about. Oh, you have plasma proficiency. Okay. Well, yeah, then you're the tech weapon kid, so first attack +5, second for the rest of combat, the bonus is decreased to 2. Sure. And then let me remember to swap you that plasma weapon before I forget. So right now you're talking about this stub carbine. The plasma pistol actually has a pretty impressively competitive damage range, only being a one-handed weapon. And of course it has plasma stuff. Now it doesn't have the same high skill or the same damage floor. Obviously, like we're a little bit lower on damage overall, but I think there's a lot to be said for it, especially given the extra armor pen. It has almost the same range. It's remarkably good. We'll try to find some plasma rifles. Those would be nice. Did I decide I didn't want to equip this because the long les is just better, right? Okay, final level up. Kibella. Yep, strength is probably the way. We took a Medicae up already. It does feel like you should have more athletics than it turns out you have. Okay. Back to the thing. This time I actually am going to just let the leaving the room loot all the enemies for us. Okay, this seems important. A crowd of cultists has surrounded a tech priest crucified upon a mechanism. A rhythmic whisper repeated by 100 voices blends into some blasphemous enchantment. Powerful discharges of the motive force run through the machine, causing the unfortunate prisoner's body to convulse brutally and forcing woeful cries of pain from his lips. The tech priest's hoarse voice echoes under the ceiling. In the clenched claws of stagnation, in the shackles of iteration 0, under the iron wing, let the cycle be discontinued. Pascal's mechadendrites spring into combat mode instantly, and a wrathful rattle comes from the Vox. I am registering a severe violation of the Purity Protocol. The blessed Amarnat has been captured by heretics and is being tortured. Okay, well... Are you sure he is Amarnat? It doesn't feel like we need to have a big conversation about this. Confirmed. I do not observe his face, but I recognize his words. Let the cycle be discontinued is the blessed Amarnat's motto. What a weird motto. Okay, well... We do want to, try to ascertain any tactical advantage that could be found. The heretics have taken up positions everywhere, and many more are doubtlessly hiding in the passages leading out of the hall. For now they are all focused on the sacrilegious torture of the tech priest, and do not notice you. Well, let's kill them all. My analysis of the situation indicates the overwhelming numerical superiority of the enemy. In an open confrontation, the blessed Amarnat may be randomly or deliberately harmed by fire. I have an alternative proposal to direct engagement. Okay, fine, what? The mechadendrite points to the corpses of heretics lying nearby. We can use the blasphemer's clothing as a disguise. Unrecognized, we can sabotage the power units, overloading them and thus cleansing the hall of heretics. The lightning discharges have charred the cultists' corpses. Whiffs of smoke rise from their empty eye sockets, whose contents have evaporated. Their clothes, covered in the blood of innocents, are crudely painted over with emblems of the archenemy, which exude a repulsive air of soul decay. I shudder with disgust at the mere thought of having to touch clothing adorned with the unholy symbols, let alone wear it. This is the first step toward falling, a small compromise with evil that will lead to something greater. Is there truly no other way, rogue trader? With a look of revulsion, Kibella picks up one of the rags with the tip of her blade. Nothing but your word, Domin Samhain, can make me don this filth. Once we are done, I will scrape my skin clean with a metal brush and bathe it in caustic lye. Okay, alright, everybody, calm the fuck down. I'm actually curious to know what it's like to walk in heretic's shoes. I'm not mad, I'm actually laughing. It's interesting that the option to not put on the clothes... There's an option to not put on the clothes that is heretical, and an option to put on the clothes that is heretical. Or we could just go dogmatic and be like, no. We will vest ourselves in faith, and we're just going to blast everybody. All right, well, what is the essence of your plan? Uttering a litany of actuation for the power units from the Luminodeacon's command throne will direct the motive force created by the Blessed Reactor into the hall. The distribution servitor is keeping its output within set parameters, but upon receiving an order to increase it to peak values, it will turn this place into an electric trap. Okay. The safety system protecting the hall is controlled from the machine altar, which must be disabled. If all these operations are performed, I can guarantee that not a single blasphemer will survive the Omnissiah's wrath that will be unleashed upon this place. Okay, do we survive? This plan sounds like suicide. A sound similar to a laugh escapes Pascal's vox. This statement is true. Then what do you propose? To flee? I have tried to employ this behavioral strategy in the past, and it brought my soul no relief. I do not like the we blow ourselves up with the electricity plan. How many of them are there? It's like how crazy is it to just fight everybody? I know they're pretty down on it as a plan, and I know that there's a lot of enemies, and certainly we can't just roll an infinite army, but like we're pretty powerful. We have good tools, and we could like take cover behind these doorways over. Like, I think there's a lot we could get done. I would kind of like to just approach this as a straight-on combat. I know Pascal's worried that they'll shoot Amarnat, and I guess that's... I don't really want to gain points in heretical or dogmatic is also part of what's guiding my my complication here. I mean, maybe it's okay to gain points in heretical. I do sort of want to just fight everybody and see if we can handle it. You know what? Are you suggesting we pass on the chance to kill them all with our own hands? Forget it. I'm not missing out on the fun. Another desperate scream rends the air. So be it. May the Omnissiah protect the blessed Amarnat in the coming battle. Death to the blasphemers. Yeah. So, gunner. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them. Let's just take a second and kind of get the feel of the place. If we were going to move in, we would want to move in toward this. We'd want to disable that high up gunner as quickly as possible. So we push in this way, use these things as cover and sight blinds. Honestly, there aren't that many enemies visible. I don't mean that it's a small amount, but I feel like this is pretty doable. So here's a question. Am I allowed to... Yeah, switch this to combat mode. Am I allowed to enter combat with a... with an attack? Like, can I open up? The other question I have is, what exactly is removable with a medkit? Removes one fresh injury, or if none exist, attempts to remove one old injury. I really would like to know the mechanics behind attempts to remove one old injury, because obviously, like, stripping Pascal's injuries or hers would be really great.
I woke up with a feeling of...
I'm at your service.
Okay, who has the highest Medicaid? This does not, unfortunately, show us everybody. All right, 47, 50, 50, 45, 60. All right. So Kibella
What torments you?
is going to attempt some medicine on Argenta.
Your time has not yet come.
Blessed be the hand of the healer.
Okay, so it says use his medkit, and we don't get any attempts to remove the old injury. There's no math visible at all. And I feel like there definitely should have been. You know what? You can have some of this too. These are old injuries, right? These are what new injuries turn into. I don't know. All right, apparently that's not how that works, despite the text suggesting that it is. Let's move in.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay.
You up here.
When the faithful are idle,
I know. I'm trying to get you to
heresy
step all the way to the corner.
The
All right, I think we're gonna have to
Emperor sets my
accept it
path.
here.
I'll do it. I won't be is a prayer.
There we go.
Surrender to the dark power.
I think that's a pretty decent open. Knock, knock, nerds. There's a few of them. And nowhere that she can... This stuff up here doesn't count as cover, which is a real shame. So let's have her here. And then figure the rest of this out. We have grenades and stuff. So you're just wielding a melee weapon. You have a gun. Kibella's going to get to go early. Argenta and Kibella get to go early. So, like, the idea that Kibella could clean up these two is probably pretty reasonable. So Samhain might stay, like, way back here. Abelard is tough and wants to be closer. Adira is early. Adira gets to go before everybody else, so she doesn't necessarily have to be... Oh, no, she doesn't. Okay, this was scrolled up partially for no reason. Well, I guess I'm glad I saw that. Let's move Kibella forward, because Kibella's going to do some terrible things on her turn. I think I'll leave Adira exactly where she is, maybe? And then Pascal. Trying to figure out, like, what is the group of enemies that we're going to remove first, as far as, like, giving us a side that is relatively safe to be on. I think it's still going to be better to be over here than it is to be on this side. And with that, we start the battle. So, let's fuck some shit up. We're definitely going to want to run and gun here. Okay. Number one is a guaranteed kill. Well, not guaranteed. 95%.
Doubt is for the weak.
All right, run and gun me. Stop recentering my camera. Every time she finishes an animation, she has to recenter.
Faith without none can escape
All
the
right,
Emperor's
so we
judgment.
cleared their sniper nest entirely. Until the end of combat, sweet, sweet, reveling in slaughter.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
And
I'll do
no
it.
reason not to throw up the Furious Recital. I think. Okay. So two fighters that are far away. Then that group of gunners near that thing. Group of cultists over there. So interesting. The packs don't all contain the same enemy. I guess I kind of assumed, but this one is 3 gunners and 2 fighters. Okay, most of the stuff nearby is right after Kival's turn. It's just the game was trying to hide that information from me. I really don't think it should do that. So the question is, like, do we run to here, kill this guy, and then start bouncing across like that? Or do we do the opposite, right? And I think the answer is we do it the other way. We start on this side. I'm debating whether the action point is worth becoming Blood Blessed. So these guys are all pretty soft. Alright, let me try something here. Run up to you. And maybe what I do is I throw a gas grenade. Because I kind of want to, like, I want to make this staircase not free. It's weird. Why does it show just a grenade on the hit chance for that guy? I can't get it to read all 3 of them as potential targets, but I want to leave a gas cloud on the stairs. Okay. Then chop this guy.
By the web.
Then we have our hop to here.
As honor ordains.
Oh, which does not kill either of them. This one has more, yeah, considerably more HP actually. Enough that I won't kill him with another leap even. And if I leap, I gain another short of breath. 20% dodge is a dangerous loss. But, like, I could...
I cannot serve you in this way.
It doesn't show me what tiles have cover when I'm doing this. Does this tile have cover because of this thing? I mean, there's at least some, like, actual line of sight blocking. But turning down her dodge even further is a little scary, for sure. I'm just going to keep her right here where she can, what do you call it? Attack of opportunity, some folks.
Out of my way.
Okay, she dodged. She successfully dodged the melee. She's up there doing her Jedi thing. Now we get Adira and then all of the other enemies. And the good news is most of them will not actually have too much to say to us, I think. Well, there's a fair number of guns over here. These guys are going to bark. This feels like a fine time for... Oh, I was going to say for lightning, but right, I don't have lightning anymore. She's 1 tile short of being able to run to cover here. Like part of me really wants to throw another gun, another grenade up to here. Just leave a gas cloud and have the enemies kind of separate, but maybe that's not the most important concern right now. I can make it across to here, and from here, yeah, I have line of sight to clean up this stuff a little bit. Before I move, how big is the area of foreboding? I can get... I can't center it on the machine. So I'm trying to think, like, where's everybody else going to end up? I'm going to lay it down like this. So it barely affects Kibella, and then we have a lot of coverage back here. Kibella is also getting forewarning.
On it.
And then we're just going to take a single lasgun shot and try to light one of these dudes up.
That is not my destiny. Was that you?
60%. You know, I did what I could. I really thought that guy who started over here was starting his turn in the cloud, and that the cloud would for sure kill him. And I'm very bummed out that it didn't. Okay, we're getting good damage out of it. They don't have the wherewithal not to run into it. Holy hell. They are really, really letting it fly at her. Well, this is a great time to be Samhain. Like, this is going to be a wonderful Inferno Blast. Do I have Inferno Blast from here? I do. Doesn't have to be the way we start the turn, but I kind of want... Well, I kind of want to move, probably. I am, unfortunately, too far back to use my effects on most people. You know, one thing we could do, we could toss the turn up to Argenta. No, there's no way. I was going to say, see if Argenta can lay down bolter fire into this crowd, but I think this machine is going to be the problem. I'm not allowed to even select her to check her line of sight during the turn. So, part of the reason that I laid down the dodge zone like this was that I thought I might want to move people up into a place where we didn't necessarily have cover from everybody because of range restrictions, and I am kind of thinking this is break the ranks time, right? We can hit her with it if we move forward because we have that 3 extra cell shouty voice talent. And I think I am actually just going to move Samhain forward. Yeah. This is maybe a little risky.
Never wavered in the face of adversity.
But it's also very juicy. Alright, so great news. You serve me. And I know how you love that. I know how into that you are. Now, I think I'm going to voice of command as well.
Not a problem for me.
So you'll immediately get an attack against that guy with 1 HP. And then you deal additional damage equal to 2 multiplied by the number of enemies adjacent to the target when the ability is used. Yeah, so 1 attack should be a charge. And that way, when I hit bring it down, you should be able to, like, dance into here. And then just, like, blade dance and make people really miserable. You can jump all the way over to here, huh? I guess the question really is, like, who do I want to be able to hit? I think I'm just going to go to here.
The shadows will see it. Let thy blade be drenched in blood, and thy blessing flow through my veins.
If I'm honest, I did not think she was going to kill everybody. If I were to jump again, I can't quite make it down the stairs. She has 2 charges of tired now. We have also created an entire heroic act. We gained a lot of momentum there, so I don't know who's going to use it. It's probably going to be Samhain using it, because just buying us a whole extra player turn feels really good. What if you just shot him in the face at point blank range? Turns out it wouldn't even be very good. Up to 4 times against random available targets. Yeah, I guess one thing we could do is have her hop over to here and then activate the heroic act and just go nuts on these guys. She'll kill all of them, but then she'll be kind of hung out to dry. She'll be hard for the remaining enemies who have orders or have turns left to shoot at. But she'll also be in a position that makes it hard for us to pull her back, and thus, you know, to close this area off with the smoke grenades or something if we wanted to. I'm going to jump to here, hope that the machine provides me cover, and take that guy out. Okay, and I did not leave myself any AP. Do I want to throw a full turn to somebody? Because, like, if I want to like toss it to Abelard, maybe even Abelard could run down here, start mixing it up with these guys with the sword, and then throw a grenade somewhere forward and kind of cut off this avenue for flanking by himself, probably. Actually, I think I really like that.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline.
So Abelard's basically going to get 2 turns in a row here to fuck these guys up. You should have a clean enough charge from here, right? Yeah.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
Okay, so we're not guaranteed a kill against the little guy. Like a grenade as deep as that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna throw 10 fire damage for 3 rounds. So it'll be enough to kill everybody there, but they'll die slowly over a couple of turns. I think it's worth it though. So the 50 and 25, I don't know if that's like, if I'm seeing dodge chances there or chances, you know, like this is how much of the effect they'll take. It's an unusual way of representing that information. I guess I'll just use a normal. I tried to opportunity attack me. So wait, what happened there? With the shield bash. Oh, I dealt. Okay. I forgot about shield bash. Okay. It's still technically Samhain's turn. Alright, now it's Abelard's turn. So, if we do a breakthrough here, I can put myself on the backside of the cultist fighter. I could kill this guy and that guy. Put myself on the backside here. Let me start with the chop.
Victory is imminent. One fewer target.
Go to breakthrough.
At your beck and call.
Ooh, non-lethal.
I took care
Okay,
of this
never
one.
mind. Second hand got him. Shield bash got us there. And then, to be perfectly honest with you, maybe I just like stalwart defense The cone's a little narrow though. I think I'm just gonna endure. +3 deflection on top of his already impressive defenses. Yeah, I think that was a pretty reasonable open there. And then we still got a million enemies, but we'll get through them. We'll get through them. So 75% extra damage would overheat the plasma weapon. Plasma overcharge in an area. All creatures within a 3x3 area within 16. Okay, I have no line of sight to do this. No, I totally do. Oh, it really does make me want to. I should probably do like a couple of other things first. Support my allies in some way. And of course, throw up some extra exploits on the guys who aren't going to die. I mean, if I'm reading that correctly, this isn't that likely to deal meaningful damage to any of them. Why do you have Deadeye Shot in your personal skills? I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's do joint analysis. Let's do bonus stuff on you. And then I'm going to try it. I'm going to try just dropping a plasma overcharge and we'll see what happens. The scriptural promise the Undesired condemns you. Okay, we got one person managed to dodge out. That guy took partial damage, it looks like. I also dealt 12 energy damage to the cover in the area. Alright, not a bad start, I think.
Chaos guides me.
And now you run up into melee with Abelard like that's ever helped anybody.
Gray hair, sure hair.
Everybody's getting a taste of the shield bash. Does she have vision through to these? Oh, yeah. She just has, like... She absolutely has a killing field here. Well...
He's a prayer.
Let's take out some of the bigger ones, especially the larger ones with guns. You have some cover. Alright. You're just a melee soldier, I think? I'm going to let Abelard handle this whole set over here. I don't think anybody...
As the Emperor commands, I act.
I don't think anybody has to help him with anything.
Doubt is for the weak.
If I can't kill you, I can at least lighten you up so that the poison gas will. And then Kibella. So Kibella could jump down here and assist with these guys. But obviously it's extremely compelling to run over to here and jump into the middle of all these gunners, right? Now, the downside is I don't currently have a Death from Above charge. If I onslaught, I'll get 6 movement, which will be enough to just get over there and stab somebody. Generate my first charge with Blade Dance, probably. It's probably not necessary, but it would be so fucking cool. Huh, I really thought, I guess this pipe area is not traversable. Well, yeah, get me all the way over here. She's gonna run around the gas. Well, shoot. She ran around the stairs, but she still took the edge of the gas. Hi, everybody. Probably time for Raining Blood. Well, I won't get to do my normal attack if I do that. I need one more AP. Right, because we do Blade Dance. Whatever, I'm just going to Blade Dance. Let's just start with the Blade Dance.
Death is a blessing.
Decent. A decent dance. Then we'll do our normal attack.
Trust me, Count. The other side awaits.
Alright, there's a couple of charges.
Killing brings me no pleasure.
Yeah, I can tell.
I shall not fail.
She failed. Would you stop the drama?
Trust me, death is a blessing.
Okay, well, I had that under control. Thank you. Yeah, that was super fun. I'm glad that we did it that way, because that was a lot of murders. How you doing there, boss? In the cycles of the foreordained, there lurks a flaw of worship. The tech priest's body convulses. Pained, plaintive creaks of binaric prayers come from his vox. As moments pass, the signal becomes less and less clear, as if something twisted and wrong were being added to it. Pascal studies the tech priest's face carefully. His vox system moans in a tragic vibrato. Subject unidentified. This is not the blessed Amarnat. Stranger, I request your name. How do you know my mentor's motto? I'm not allowed to just, let him answer? I guess I'll examine the tech priest while I wait for an answer? There are deep burns all over his flesh, and the skin around his augmetics is charred. Blasphemous spells have been carved into his sacred iron, forming unholy litanies of scrap code. It is amazing how robust this tech priest's life support systems have proven to be in maintaining the spark of life in his grievously wounded body. Alright, who are you, servant of the Omnissiah? The fire of the hearth sent forth sparks. The name of this spark is Abel Hanuman. The tech priest looks over at Pascal. For a brief moment, his speech becomes clear. The echo of my call has reached you. Good. The iteration is at its end. The design is fulfilled. What design? Why are you calling yourself by my name? Was it you who summoned me to Rykad Minoris? What for? I categorically demand an answer. Pascal's voice rises to an intimidating howl, but the delirious tech priest does not seem to understand what he is saying. Look, ask him about Amarnat. You came here because of him, after all. No. The tech priest's weak voice grows stronger. He came because of himself. Myself. To redeem myself. To correct a mistake. Possibly. But how do you... There's a gentle There's a look of gentle condescension in Abel's eyes. Strange, given the circumstances. The hubris of the mind spurs him to build monuments to himself. Do not regret, for all is predetermined by the iteration. A devastating coughing fit cuts him off, and you hear a clang of tearing metal from inside his chest. Okay, what design? There's that option for you can talk to him once we get him out of here. I don't think we're getting him off of this in one piece. An intention both bold and honorable, to open new gates for the waters of knowledge and comprehension. A plan written so that the righteous may follow. And trust in the great pattern of revelation and uniform progression toward it. Pascal's voice is trembling with elation? Those are his words. I have not heard them in so very long. All right, well, you can talk more about this once we get him out of here. A cold premonition rakes the heart. The probabilities are dark and frightening. Brother, I do not wish to gaze into them. We are the flame of knowledge that drives the darkness away. Pascal is quickly inspecting Abel's wounds, paying no mind to the blood and sacred unguents staining his sleeves. His vox rasps soothingly. Do not fear what is to come, brother. We are already here. Pardon me. Okay. I mean, it's possible that every moment we leave him up here is bad. It's also, I think, extremely likely that he's just dead. He's just dead on the thing. When we pull him off, it's going to be the last thing that happens to him. Do you know him, Pascal? The subject has not been identified and has no record in my catalog. Interrogation is impossible due to the subject's evident affective state of clouded consciousness. And you, how did you kill those heretics? What technology did you use? Existence has worn thin and threadbare. Eschatos has discontinued the cycle. Eschatos. This word does not appear in my catalog, but I am aware of its existence. Perhaps it sounded in the Blessed Amonet's sermons. I must consult my notes. Well, let's try to take him down, I guess. As soon as you touch the tech priest's battered flesh, he shifts his gaze to you and says, with sudden clarity, "Many sparks have gone out, but not all. The electric shepherds are alive. In the darkness, I heard their prayers. Find them, save them, recite the hymn of contact circuit restoration, so that you may behold what is hidden." A blast of the motive force runs down the tech priest's body, and his face contorts in a mocking grimace. Malformed binaric code, repulsively jarring on the ears, pours out of his vox. Information archived to the effect that the circuit restoration hymn is the entrance password to the Electro Priest's hiding place. Pascal responds with the dour rhythms of a containment aria. I note with great sorrow that the cultist ritual has been partially successful. My tech brother has been tainted by corruption. He is in the grip of a schismatical, unholy imitation of a machine spirit. I request immediate activation of the Texorcisms protocol. Texorcism's fun. That's a good word. Kibela gives Pascal a long look, her eyebrow raised in a silent question. Pascal responds with an equally long silence, then creaks, "Thank you for your cooperation. Request denied. The Catechism demands that this act be performed by an authorized unit." Okay, well, I don't think we're going to leave him as he is. It would seem very silly to say I shall help save him, given what was just said here. I mean, I guess I'm probably authorized. When he said that, I was thinking, this is a tech priest has got to do this thing because it's got to be done in a technical way. But I'm the rogue trader. I'm authorized for everything. Yeah, let's do it. The possessed man responds with a burst of repulsive laughter. Every now and then, a word or two of Gothic finds its way into the binaric obscenities pouring out of his vox, in what seem to be the schismatical's tentative forays into a language that is alien to it. His body convulses. His joints twist at unnatural angles with the sound of bursting steel couplings. As the possessed man thrashes about, his internal augmetics emerge gradually through the hanging tatters of his flesh, as though an iron homunculus hidden inside the tech priest were trying to cast off the meat cocoon that it no longer needed. Pascal's mechadendrite extends a thin drilling needle. Sacred unguent glistens on it. A code purification aria is heard as the needle sinks into the possessed tech priest's skull and touches his neural augmetic, forming an electric circuit with it. Extreme strain is visible on his face. Furious litanies pour out of his vox. Result, failure. Requesting assistance. Alright, I know a thing or two about tech. I will send a purifying charge of the motive force into the possessed man's body. May the machine god heal you. Undaunted, you grab one of the severed cables and press it into the tech priest's body, and a shock of formidable power shakes the possessed man. Machine oil gushes out of his mouth. His vox hisses deafeningly as the flow of the motive force burns the corruption in his sacred iron. The overload destroys some of the circuit boards of his neural augmetic, resets his code, and erases the schismatical from existence. The tech priest's eyes roll up, and he loses consciousness, crushed yet still alive, and no longer in the thrall of corruption. With the utmost care, Pascal takes his body down from the mechanism and lays it on the floor. His stirring litanies of gratitude to the Omnissiah echo through the hall. I love the way, like, you always envision a tech use test as, like, I'm gonna be very cautious and precise and technical now, and that was just, well, let's attach a power conduit to him and see what happens. It's basically just like a fire hose of electricity. Maybe that'll solve the problem. Rest, Tech Brother. We will come back for you when we have done our duty to the miraculous fusion reactor. They just call it that. Lord Captain, the Omnissiah commands a pious mind to strive toward uncovering the truth. Therefore, I will not stop until I find my mentor and understand his connection to this servant of the machine god. I request the privilege of joining your retinue as a rightful companion. I can offer to fulfill the duties of an engineer on your ship in exchange for the right to follow you and conduct my own investigation.
Mistress
Yeah.
Cabela, you move with the utmost confidence in unfamiliar places. And yet, until now, you have spent your entire life on a void ship.
This place is almost like the plasma drive chambers on the flagship. The deadly flashes of the machine spark, the smell of scorched flesh, and threads that must be severed.
Okay, so theoretically we can just leave all the bodies and we'll loot them automatically by leaving. That's the distribution servitor, in case you were trying to do sneaky plans or whatever. Here's some loot from a goods container.
Follow my lead.
The safety system control altar. I wonder how often people do the sneaky plan and how often people just go, hey, it sounds like fun to fight everybody.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
All right, great news. More stuff. Yeah, we're going to get so many pieces of, like, so many little bits of garbage loot here.
Victory awaits.
So what's going on in here? The data altar of sacred analysis seems important. The cogitator's green screen lights up as you approach it and displays the flashing message, Pilgrim, only the words of the first galvanic hymn will reveal to you the gifts hidden behind the veil of knowledge. Now chant with me. Let us sing this canticle to... I don't know it. I'm probably supposed to know it. We'll come back. Oh, this is the hallway where we fought the first... Yeah, that first ambush. Okay. So you know what? Maybe I will just... So we went around there. Yeah, we need to pass one of these actual one of these computer passwords is all.
What advice do you seek?
It's about time.
on the maladies of machine spirits and the ways of diagnostic divination. I don't think we stepped off into this little library chamber before. Unless this is where maybe this is the room we entered through. No, this is the room we entered through. Yeah, I think I just didn't notice that, that room on account of the angle of it. Okay, well, I'm going to step outside, I think. Just to trigger the loot. Yeah, to trigger this. Okay, so... Alright, we're seeing Ritobi powdered and lasguns as common drops now. A casing chest plate, which is a reasonable piece of heavy gear. There were a couple of sniper rifles in there. I think what I might do is... like, take a couple of each of these. It's extremely likely that we don't get any more use out of them than that, right? And I can always go pull stuff from cargo later. And then at this point, we're going to go to the... We're going to set those both to always go to cargo. There we go. I just wanted to get that dealt with before we walk away for the day. So, we'll head back in a second, but that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, hopefully we'll get to kill as many heretics as we got to kill. The combat system is good and fun, and they should let us play with it more. So hopefully we'll have another one that is as much of a banger as this one was. Come back next time for something that is probably not that, unfortunately. And we'll see you then.